Today, I wish to share with you a teaching from the Bhagavad Gita. It is one small statement that Krishna makes to Arjuna, and I believe that it has the power to completely change your life and also the way that you approach the spiritual path. It has the power to end your suffering here and now. So I am really excited to share with you. We're also going to do a guided meditation on it. So please relax. You can close your eyes and just allow yourself to experience the profoundness of this teaching. Allow it to take you over. Enjoy. I want to do a guidance on a teaching from the Bhagavad Gita, which I was reading this morning. It's in actually the second chapter. There's this teaching. Krishna says, that which dwells in the mortal body is immortal. So just this small statement, we're going to do a guidance on. It's going to be a guidance, a meditation of discernment, discernment between the real and the unreal, self and not self. So he says, that which dwells in the mortal body is immortal, is eternal. This eternal truth or reality in all the mortal bodies shines as the self. So take see, okay? That which we are seeking, right? That eternal truth, God, or reality is the self in all beings. We take ourself to be the mortal body, right? I am this, but actually, so it says in the text, that which you feel as self, or the self in the mortal body, is that eternal truth or reality. That is the goal of all spirituality. And this is one of the main staples of self inquiry as well, right? It is a self inquiry because the self is the only thing that we feel as like a continuous reality throughout all of our life, while everything, even the things that I take to be the self, continue to change. You see, the world I experience, constantly unstable, continues to change. While there's this selfhood, right? I, the self, perceive the world to change. But along with the world, the body also, the body that I believe conceptually to be the self is also always changing, while I, the self, do not change. I, the self, perceive the changeful body. So the body is not the real self. Simple as that. Now, along with that, along with the world and the body, the structure we call mind, which includes thought, emotion, even the ideas which thoughts paint out about who I am and what I am, what life is like, the whole personality, what you like, what you don't like, what you care about or don't. That whole structure of information, we can call it mind, even that continues to change while I, the self, remain the constant throughout all of the changeful personal life. The entire person continues to change with its world. And there's this selfness that does not change. There's nothing complicated about this. We have a habit of making this a lot more complicated than it actually is. That which you call I, it just never changes. There's something with about you that you feel never changes, from on behalf of whom you are seeing all of this stuff that isn't actually true or real or you change. So meditation is exactly that. There are two components to it. There are two aspects of it. Meditation is learning to sort of just feel out or be with this selfness in you, I-ness, and for the moment not being preoccupied. You can't even be bothered with what changes. No interest in what changes, right? Only just being as the changeless self with the changeless self. Just this sense of self. And the other aspect of meditation is this discernment between the changeless self and the changeful phenomena. We have to grow in both. When we begin the path, our discernment is very weak. This needs to strengthen and mature. Discernment between self and everything that is not self, right? Because if that immortal reality shines in this experience as the self, dwells in this body as the self, then we have to grow in the discernment between that self and everything that it is not, all the appearances that it is not. If we seek to attain or understand that immortal, eternal reality, we have to sort of come as close as we can to it. So we have to discern self and not self, self and everything that changes. And the other is we are too distracted, we are too occupied with the changeful, so that therefore we have to sort of train our attention to rest more and more so in the self, in the sense of self or the now. Okay. I and now, self and now are synonymous. The self is not in the now, the self is what you feel as constant now. Notice how that also does not change. So we're going to do a little bit of both today. And just start by acknowledging that the contents of this moment will soon change. Soon we will no longer be together. Soon your body will be doing something else. Your mind will be thinking something else. The world will appear to be something else. Your entire experience will appear to be something else. But what will not change is self. That a new experience will be pervaded by the sense of self. I am doing, I am hearing, I am tasting, I am experiencing. This sense I am, wake up to it. Don't think about it, just feel it, sense it, be it. Not later, now, because there is no later for it. It is always now. Soon the contents of this entire experience will be different. The world will appear different. The body will be doing something else. The mind will be thinking and feeling something else. But what will not change is the feeling or sense of now, the fact of now. See, the now is not a feeling, it is just a fact. So we will continue to refer to it throughout this session as feel it or sense it, but know that those words are limited, but just use them in whichever degree they work for you. Sense the now. Now. Isn't it really good news that that which you seek, that which is sort of like the goal of your life, is present here and now? So, how foolish is it to constantly keep thinking about it in order to try to get away from it? Constantly seeking it later when it is now. The mind is a fool in that way. Let go of the mind and be the self now. Sense it, feel it, be it. Allow this I amness, this nowness, to come to the front of your noticing. Let it be the only thing you care about right now. Reality, truth, God are closer than close, the most intimate that they can be, and no distance. But what is required of us is to dissolve this entire structure, this belief system of what I am, who I am, what life is, this whole conceptual belief system, dissolve it in this sense of I amness, this nowness, which pervades all experience, every experience, and do it now. Later is an idea that arises in the mind now. Instead of being lost in those ideas, sense the immediacy, the intimacy of now. Thinking is an escape mechanism, constantly escaping reality by the means of concept, belief. Have no space for that right now. The moment you find yourself lost in thinkingness, return to the immediacy of this sense of self, I amness, beingness, nowness. This attachment to thought is due to the ego's need to escape the immediacy and intimacy of now, of self, because here it dies. Don't keep funding that escape. Cut off the funding. Realize that it is the opposite of what you actually seek. So here and now, let go of the need to indulge in thought and sense the fullness, the intimacy of the sense of self, I. Be here now. God has come to your house, but you are just outside traveling in all these different worlds. How foolish. We have to come back home. The home is the now. God is a guest in our home. And what we are doing is we're answering the phone, we're going out for chores, we're occupied with this or that, restlessly moving about, not tending to Him. How foolish. Here and now, let go of all pursuits, all concepts, all ideas, resistances, desires, future, past, journeying, and just feel His presence. His presence here and now is this sense of self or now. This is the real spiritual food that will nourish you and keep you healthy, alive, clear, wise. Words are like having chips for dinner. You can eat a lot of chips and you will get a little satisfied and full, not hungry anymore, but it will not nourish you. You'll be empty inside and slowly it will kill you. The real food is silence. Silence is the language of God, of truth. The words are only here to remind you of this so that you can put down words and just be. Stop eating chips. Have some real nourishment. Stop running away from what you really seek. Try not to see this as such an effort. You're not contracting yourself to be present. This is a letting go of effort. And for a while, it may seem like that to you, that letting go of effort is an even extra effort than, your normal way of life. So if it feels like that for a while, that's fine. Make the effort, but notice that you're actually making an effort to let go of effort. It's more so a relaxation away from our preoccupations, identifications, mental pursuits. The way to sink ever more deeply in this nowness, this presence of truth, this selfness is relaxing away from motivity. No need to do or secure or attain. Relaxing away from time. No need to project a future and a past. Relaxing away from being a somebody. You are taking off all of these masks, these costumes, these burdens, and just remaining as that bare nowness, selfness. You cannot meet God as a person. The person has to melt in this fire of nowness, I-ness, selfness. And then we realize our oneness and identity with that truth. This divide, this apparent division between me and truth, me and God, me and reality, is sustained by thinking, constant thinking about who I am and what life is. Stop funding this with interest, significance, and melt in the presence of God. This is meditation. In the beginning, this starts off feeling like a chore, an effort, work, practice, but slowly you will begin to enjoy it. Slowly you will begin to find great nourishment and happiness and peace in it. And then it will become like your refuge. And then even that will mature. And then you will start to find this to be what you are. It'll be identity. It's no longer your home. It's not something you are in. It is what you are. It is your real nature. So our job as earnest spiritual seekers is to just keep submitting to this, keep melting in this. And when you do it, right away, you may not feel peaceful. You may not feel like, oh, you understand everything. You may not feel like you're making spiritual progress. That's fine. Just keep taking a dip in this ocean of nowness, beingness, I amness, and it will keep on purifying the mind. It just keeps on subtlifying your perception, clarifying your understanding. It will happen completely underneath the surface of your perception. You won't even know it until it becomes so obvious. If you're lucky, you won't have any crazy spiritual experiences, crazy blissful moments. People who have those, I often get trapped in those and then always end up chasing them. If you're lucky, you won't even know spiritual progress is happening. And then a moment will come where you realize how much quote unquote progress has been made, how much clarity has been achieved. But that is not your business. Your job is just keep on taking a dip in this ocean. It purifies you. You don't purify yourself. It purifies you until you realize that you are innately pure and that the only thing which was being purified was your idea about yourself. Your idea was letting go of, was being let go of more and more. You are stepping down from concepts into truth, illusion into reality, not self into self. This is meditation. This is the path of silence. Walk this path with great devotion. No effort will be wasted. You can feel free to open your eyes if they were closed before. I hope you enjoyed this session. Please let me know what you thought about it below. Share with us your greatest takeaway. I can't wait to hear from you. And also, in case you need help with practicing this consistently and you want to connect with our community, join our free group. I will link it down below. It has many resources inside of it that will be helpful to your spiritual practice. Lastly, if you are looking to work with me to help you dissolve mind identification and awaken to your true nature, learn more about Self Inquiry School. It is our awakening school where you get courses, online live meetings, retreats. We do a lot of stuff in our school, so you may find that helpful as well. That's all for today. I will see you next time.